All right, we are live. Here we go. You're looking at yeah, this is not something I wanted to see. I was just sent this. NATOcast, which is a forecasting thing for tornadoes, has a 10% area of tornadoes centered pretty much directly over my house. That is, yeah, pretty significant there. Let's see if we could zoom in here. Yeah, zooming in on the Chicagoland area there. Um, it's basically centered either just over my house or to my south. The storm, and you know what, let's pull up radar scope here. Pull it up now. Let's take a look at what we have now, because obviously with the 10% tornado risk, that means we have severe weather coming, and that is true. I don't know why there's a glare on my screen, but here's the storm we got to worry about. This thing has the potential of putting down a few tornadoes today. The Storm Prediction Center has a 2% tornado risk outlined pretty much all along and south of 88, west, up until west of DeKalb here. But this storm off to our west, this thing over Davenport, this is what we got to worry about right there where I kind of circled there. That is what we got to worry about the most. There's already a few special weather statements out from the Davenport office. But as this thing moves, closer and closer to Chicago, the tornado risk looks likely to increase for later today. I'm going to pull up the Storm Prediction Center here. Hang on. I'm going to pull up forecasting models that we have, or that I have, I should say, as we can see what we got. But yeah, I was thinking about chasing today. It's really hit or miss. I mean, it's literally right. I could drive down to Oswego and I'll be in the tornado 10% area that the NATOcast has. And usually NATOcast is pretty good at verifying, so you better get ready for tornadoes today because it's not going to be good. Like I said, it's a worst case scenario if this does even happen. So right now, we get this here. Looking at the computer screen. That works. Okay. Here's the surface-based cape. Pretty much none right now. So this is for this afternoon. But as the afternoon rolls around, within the next hour or two, we should be seeing about 500 to 1,000 cape within the Chicagoland area. And as it moves north, closer to 2,000, then 2,500 later today. And then shear, there's a good amount of wind shear in the atmosphere, so that's why there's a tornado risk in place today. Surface-based cape once again there, 100. Yeah, there's some cape here. So the potential of tornadoes is here for the Chicagoland area, which is why the Storm Prediction Center has the 2% tornado risk outline for today. But let's. So we're just going to watch as this storm, I believe, is the one that's going to have the potential of producing the most tornadoes out of today. We've had several showers that come through the Chicagoland area early this morning. Pretty good lightning and thunder as well. It was pretty loud too. But this is the biggest concern that we have now. Special weather statements lining up all along the Mississippi River and east of it, out ahead of the storm. Yeah, so we're just going to wait and see as the storm moves in, if it gets more and more severe, and if it does, we'll obviously stick with it. But what was I going to do? But yeah, like I said, 2% tornado risk. You see that green outline there? That is where the tornado risk is. There's also a 30 hatched wind to the south, 15 hatched hail, but that's all the way down toward Kansas City and all that. So Chicagoland doesn't really have to worry much about hail. It's the perfect time to storm chase, honestly, because I always want to avoid hail. But I mean, if I do decide to storm chase, it's probably too late because I'd have to get south, and the storm is moving pretty fast to the east. Like I said, no severe thunderstorm warnings in effect yet. Some areas are getting close to that severe mark with the 1-inch hail near Aledo, northwest of Galesburg. But like I said, as it moves closer to Chicagoland, we're going to have more and more problems, especially with tornadoes. As you know, Illinois still has the highest number of tornadoes out of any other state this entire year, with over 100. But who knows? We could be seeing a lot more today. Let's hope we don't. Let's hope they all stay south and in a rural area, like between Aurora, Mendota, and all that area. Let's hope they stay within there and not go toward metropolitan areas. I will pull. Let me pull up NATOcast for a second. Let me just see what cities are affected by this. I believe you can look it up, but either way, we still got this storm that's rolling in from the west. That's not it. Okay, hang on. Okay. So yeah, NATOcast again, like I said, has a 10% tornado risk. This is not the Storm Prediction Center, by the way. NATOcast is a 10% tornado risk centered just south of Aurora. I believe it includes Aurora too. I'm trying to find a map where I could pull it in, so I could see all the cities that NATOcast has. If the Storm Prediction Center decides to, they might issue another at their 11:30 forecast. They might extend that 2% tornado risk further north. Just depends on whether or not that'll actually happen. Let's see here. All right, let's see what this says. Yeah, that's. I believe what it has is. Let me pull it back up so you can see what I'm talking about here. I believe where it's centered right now. I believe that would be west of 55, south of 90, north of 80. I believe that's where it is. It's hard to tell because it's just a blank map with these tornado outlines marked out. So it's really hard to tell where the actual or like areas in Chicagoland. It's really hard to tell where exactly they are unless you know the map really, really well by satellite. But I'd say basically within this area that you see on your screen, I honestly believe that's where the 10% tornado risk is. So if you see your area, if you know somebody that's in this area, well, obviously I know basically a lot of people in this area. So if you know somebody that's in this area, tell them about the tornado risk that we have today. It's definitely not something joke around with, because even though some people may see a 2% tornado risk, they're not gonna take it seriously until it's too late. Looking at the storm near Mendota, looks pretty good. This may be the first severe thunderstorm warning of the day, just based on what the reflectivity is near Mendota. Pretty good sized hail out there as well. But like I said, main threat is not the stuff that's going through the southwest Chicagoland right now. The main threat is just to its west with this QLCS line, possibly even a derecho. Let's see if they'll classify it as one this time. Actually, last time they did. This time, this might, and actually it's following the August 10, 2020 path of that derecho. Luckily, it's not as strong or significant, thankfully. But the main severe threat, basically, as of right now, is staying south of 88, which is good for everybody except me. But the area we really got to watch, especially for damaging winds, is this area. Like I said, the tornado risk is more up to the north. So obviously we'll stay live with this. Was that severe thunderstorm watch just issued? Yeah, I think we just had a severe thunderstorm watch for Iowa and parts of far, far western Illinois. Or no, that's been there. Okay. But like I said, if the Storm Prediction Center does up the 5% or up this to the 5% tornado risk, I'll really consider chasing, honestly, today. It just depends on storm initiation time. But we'll just wait and see what today plays out. Today's honestly still a pretty tricky event to forecast. So yeah, that's I guess all right. But as the title says of this live stream, this is also a Nathan's Weather Show. So let's run that. You're watching Nathan's Weather Show number 767 for Wednesday, July 12, 2023. As you know, we've been talking about it for the past at least 10 minutes. We talked about the tornado threat we have in the Chicagoland area today. Hang on. Somebody is begging me. Look at the wind speeds over Davenport. What? All right. So, okay. Look at the wind speeds over Davenport. Okay. It's a lot of driving wind that way. It's definitely straight line winds through here because these winds are backing into it and something could spin up in there. But But anyways, let's get back with the Nathan's Weather Show. We'll stick with that shot for a little bit. Nathan's Weather Show, like I said, past 10 minutes, we've been talking about a severe weather and even tornado event for the Chicagoland area for today. Honestly, later this afternoon is when the biggest chances are. Honestly, time frame. I haven't said this yet. Time frame for me is honestly between 2 and 6 o'clock. Is when the biggest chance of severe threat is. I believe it's going to be with this storm as well, if not something behind it, which I doubt. But again, this NATOcast, which is another really good tornado forecasting app, forecasting website, I should say, has a 10% tornado risk around Aurora for today. Or centered around Aurora, or just a little bit east or west. It's really hard to tell based on what the map you saw at the beginning of the stream. But like I said, 2% tornado risk with storm prediction centers. Again, something you do not want to mess around with for today. So with that, let's talk about what the storm prediction center has for today. Enhanced risk of severe weather centered between south of Des Moines, all the way east, as far east as I believe Quincy, Illinois. So let's talk about day one. Major cities include includes Des Moines as well. Des Moines, Iowa, West Des Moines, Iowa, Quincy, Illinois, Galesburg, Illinois, Burlington, Iowa, Chicagoland under slight risk of severe weather, along with the 2% tornado risk for the southern parts of the Chicagoland area. Literally, the 2% tornado risk line goes about a mile to my south. Yeah, that when I saw that, yesterday it was 2 miles, now it's about a mile, and yeah, that annoys me. But anyways, 2% tornado risk: Kansas City, Missouri, Wichita, Kansas, St. Louis, Missouri, Des Moines, Iowa, and Aurora, Illinois. 30 hatched wind: Kansas City, Missouri, Des Moines, Iowa, Overland Park, Kansas, Kansas City, Kansas, Topeka, Kansas, and then 30% wind threat is the same as the convective outlook. And finally, hail: 15 hatch, centered in and west of the Kansas City metro. So we're not even going to talk about that. And with that, let's get on with the actual forecast for today. It is a little bit cold on the colder side out there right now, based on just because we've had a lot of rain that's come through in the past few hours. Sorry, I'm turning my fan on. Right now here in North Aurora, 64, feels like 64. Humidity almost topped off like a gas tank, 99%. Dew point 64, winds out the southeast at 8. Obviously, severe thunderstorms possible this afternoon. Thunderstorms again possible every single day. I'm in Ohio, just FYI. Friday, Saturday, Sunday forecast will be, or Friday forecast will be at like a dead hour in the morning, and then Saturday, Sunday will be in Ohio. Showers possible again Wednesday, the 19th, next Wednesday, and that's it for the rain chances. Thunderstorms, like I said, thunderstorms are going to be possible pretty much through 7 o'clock tonight, but the biggest chance of severe weather looks to be between 2 and 6 o'clock this afternoon. Today's high only should be getting around to 75, just based on amount of rain and making it colder and all that. But with that is this edition of Nathan's Weather Show, number 767 for Wednesday, July 12, 2023. And let's get back to the severe weather forecast and the Chicagoland severe weather live stream. Like we've been saying, like I said before, you got damaging straight line winds just south of Davenport, which is moving their way off to the east. So this storm definitely has the potential of producing tornadoes later on, just based on the Cape, just based on the wind shear, has enough energy to produce some tornadoes. I'll honestly say we'll have at least 5 tornadoes right now, or 5 tornadoes throughout the Chicagoland today. But this event honestly has been pretty difficult to forecast. It's just hard to watch and all and whatever. But I cannot rule out possible tornadoes forming within this area. If something does start spinning, we'll obviously watch it. But all this has been special weather statements. A few severe thunderstorm warnings, but they're not for this storm. Or actually, they're not even severe thunderstorm warnings. They're flash flood warnings. One of them also being a flash flood emergency down in Arkansas, I believe. But we should be seeing a lot more severe. We should be seeing a lot more severe thunderstorm warnings and even possible tornado warnings out of this today, because of all the models I've shown so far. We'll probably take a break here in a few minutes, as we don't have much to talk about as of right now. But as this thing moves off to the east, we'll obviously have a lot more to talk about. And as it moves closer to the Chicagoland area, which it is now, we could be having, a few problems here. I'm just looking around. A lot of these have half-inch hail with them. A lot of these storms. That one has 3/4 inch. That may go severe warned soon if it decides to continue doing that. And whatever. Okay. So yeah, there's still a little bit of rain. In fact, I believe it's raining outside right now for me. No, it's not. Okay. Looked like I thought it was raining outside for me, but it's not. But looking at this, more special weather statements, like I said, stretching all the way down near Quincy, near Keokuk, Iowa. And you can obviously got a leading edge of storms right here. And then the possible derecho, the QLCS line, we'll call it the QLCS line for now. Oops, that's not even in frame. Possible QLCS line that's going to barrel through the Chicagoland area. I'd say the biggest potential of tornadoes with the storm, honestly, is right in here. And as it moves closer to the east, we just draw a line here and here. That's honestly where I believe the biggest tornado risk is for today. So, and then NATOcast has it somewhere within this area there. So, again, honestly, the first big tornado event that I've covered live on this channel. So this is going to be a true test of whether or not we can continue with this thing, which hopefully we can, because I love doing this. I love helping warn public about severe weather. But like I said, tornado risk is expected. There's nothing too significant to worry about now. The storms you see on radar near Aurora and West, they're not severe. They're not even near severe status. Okay, what was I going to say? So yeah, they're not even severe status in and west of Aurora. The thing near Davenport, the thing east of Davenport is the main concern we have. That's the biggest severe threat that we have. I want to check something here. I keep getting forecast models sent to me, so it's good if I can. Yeah. So okay, I just got sent a new sounding. I will send it to my iPad, and then we'll look at it on my screen here. This is a sounding taken. You know what? Let me try and see where this sounding was taken. Oops, why is my audio on? Okay, so I'm gonna send that sounding I just got to my iPad, and then we'll look at it. And this is okay. So the sounding was taken just west of Chicago, basically in my area. Hang on a second. All right, so this is okay. So we'll send it to my iPad here, and then it'll automatically pop up, so I'm not having to do much. So this is the sounding I just got. There we go. Don't ask what that first thing is. So, okay, here's a sounding if it wants to, and the thing crashed. Okay, cool. That is a problem. Like I said, I've had problems with this forever. I just don't know why it keeps disconnecting on its own. I'm not even clicking anything. Okay, we're gonna try to get this loaded back up, but the sounding has 2200 CAPE over Chicagoland area, basically where I'm at. Possible hazard type it has us is tornado, which honestly what we've been seeing is not a surprise. And let me see something here. Okay, now it's saying it's unable to connect. What is going on? We have problems. This thing, I swear I hate it. I wish we had a better system to use, but I will try and get this radar back up and running here in just a second. Okay, so let's try and get this connected again, because Wi-Fi and technology do not mix. So this hodograph, or excuse me, not the hodograph, the sounding, including the hodograph. Okay, let's try this again. Let's see if I can pull it up now. No, I can't. Okay, what's going on? All right, this is ridiculous. You would think that this would work. I guess it does not like me. Now it's not even showing the Wi-Fi I need. All right, I got an idea. we're gonna reset. I'm gonna reset this. Yeah, people are now saying Chicago could be seeing a lot of tornadoes today. Let me just reset this. Or restart it. So a lot of people are saying we could have potential tornadoes in the Chicagoland area today. They're not ruling out a tornado threat, obviously, just based on what we've seen with the models and all that. So do not rule out a tornado threat today. Do not rule out a damaging wind event today. Damaging wind and tornadoes are the biggest concern for the Chicagoland area today. So don't take this lightly, because this is it's in an area where I'm way too familiar with. It's an area I do not want a tornado risk to be in, even though I love tornadoes, but I do not want to chase or see tornadoes within an area I'm all too familiar with. That is the worst concern I have. And now I can't even see where this is at. Okay, what is going on? Okay, what are we gonna do? It does not want to mirror to the screen, so I got no. But okay. So here's the sounding that I was sent. I know it's blurry, but we'll make the best of it. All right. Okay, that's actually getting annoying. It's my iPad mirroring to my. Oh, there's no Wi-Fi. That's why. Like I said, Wi-Fi is fun, but I'll keep reading what the sounding says. Cape has about 2,200 joules per kilogram measured. Cape has 2,200 joules per kilogram measured. Photograph is showing a pretty good amount of wind shear, so the obviously possible hazard type will be a tornado for today, just based on what this photograph and the sounding altogether says, and we are good. All right, let's try and get this back up and running. There we go. We got it. Okay. So like I said before, like what did I say before? Here's the sounding. Let me move back because so here's the sounding. Hang on a second. So here's the sounding that we have, and my phone keeps crashing. What is going on with the technology today? What is today National Ruin My Technology Day? Obviously it is. They're trying to prevent me from doing severe weather coverage here, I guess. But okay. So anyways, this sounding, let me fix this. This sounding was just to the west of Chicago. I believe Orland Park, just based on what this looks like. So the sounding on the left, this is, I forget what this is called on the left, but I know the right, this thing is the photograph there. But the photograph is showing a good amount of wind shear in the surface and up in the atmosphere. Possible hazard type, it says on the right, it says tornado. There it is. Possible hazard type, it does say tornado. Surface-based Cape, 2,200 joules per kilogram, and then all these other numbers you don't need to worry about. But let's just wait and see what we got with this. Let's go back to radar here. Obviously, we're going to be watching this all day because, again, the tornado threat, as of right now, by the Storm Prediction Center, 2% tornado threat. But the NATOcast shows 10% for the Aurora, pretty much centered right over Aurora. This is basically the first true test of whether this will work or not. Obviously, the storm you see right now, just to your west, right over Davenport, this storm right here, that has the biggest potential producing tornadoes for today. Honestly, the time frame, like I said, between 2 and 5 o'clock. It's currently 11 o'clock right now. Biggest time frame, again, 2 to 5. I honestly are pushing it more to 2 to 4. Because the storm is moving off to the east around 30 knots, which is about 35, 40 miles an hour. The hail is, I'm looking at Chicago, or no, I'm not. The hail, it looks like it has gone down in size, or gone completely, which is honestly a good thing. But it continue as this moves off to the east, it will enter a more volatile atmosphere for tornadoes, which is not a good thing, especially since it's going into a major metropolitan area. like I said, the tornado risk, I believe, is something like that. So basically, if you're south of 88, west of 294, west of Tinley Park, north of 80 up until Shanahan. So if you're basically in this area, this is the biggest concern for tornadoes today. Basically centered over the K-Lot radar. So honestly, I'll probably just say that. So again, if you're west of 355, west of the DeKalb County line, all the way down into LaSalle County, if you're south and east of that, if you're south of 88, north of 80, this is pretty much, I believe this is where the biggest tornado chances are for today. This is about a 45-minute drive to my south. Honestly, not that bad, but the biggest chance of tornadoes will be within that circle for today, just based on what NATOcast says. And I believe the Storm Prediction Center at the next outlook, which is in about a half hour, I believe the Storm Prediction Center will issue a 5% tornado risk centered over the Chicagoland area. And that's the time when we really got to take this seriously, because as obviously we got to take this much, much more seriously, because it's in a major metropolitan area. And there's a lot of people that live here. I believe the population around here is probably in the tens of millions, maybe. Because it includes downtown Joliet, it includes downtown Bolingbrook, downtown Plainfield, maybe around 2-3 million. So not really tens of millions, but you know what I mean. So possibly it's up there. But there's a lot of people that live in this area. It's a very newly developed area. A lot of this area is, especially in Oswego, Yorkville, and all that, Plainfield, northwest Plainfield. But the biggest potential for tornadoes looks like it will be within that circle I drew, including Aurora, Bolingbrook, Oswego, Plano, Plainfield, Joliet, and Manuka, which you can't see on your screen. Let's go back to NATOcast. That is the sounding there. That is NATOcast. That is a really good tornado forecasting site. This tornado risk, again, it looks to be centered right where I drew that circle. That looks to be the biggest potential for tornadoes in the Chicagoland area today. I'm not saying it's going to be excuse me. I'm not saying it's going to be a tornado outbreak. It's not that widespread. It's very localized, which is good. Let's just hope it does not show a hatched area, which is a good thing, because the tornadoes today will be weak and not long tracked, which we hope is the case. But listen, this is what somebody told me. If the atmosphere recovers today, there's going to be one heck of an environment for Northern Illinois today. One heck of an unstable environment for Northern Illinois today. So we have several hours to go. Do not keep this on your top priority for today, because this is a big concern for this area. If this atmosphere decides to become more unstable now, which it might be right now, because I haven't gone outside yet, but if this is the case, we're going to have pretty bad severe weather for Chicagoland area this afternoon. Again, like I said, time frame is between 2 and 5 o'clock. 2 and 5 o'clock for the biggest chance of severe weather with tornadoes possible. I'm not saying they're likely. I'm not saying they're not going to happen. Tornadoes possible in Chicagoland today. So keep that on the top of your mind, because it's going to be significant. We could have a significant event happening here. So in a few minutes, I'll be taking a short break, and we'll come back at probably close to noon, and then we'll probably have to hurry this up, because I also have somewhere to go this afternoon as well. So we'll just get as much as we can through here. Oops, hang on. I'm trying to get more people. I'm trying to promote this, because this is again a significant event. So we'll stick with this chat for a second. We'll be back here in just a second. Okay, so we're back here. Let me just make sure I did that right. Okay, so like I said, big tornado potential. This is honestly one of the biggest tornado potentials. No, this is the biggest tornado potential we've had since March 31st, just because it's just centered over the Chicagoland area. and the fact that we could be seeing a few tornadoes. I'm honestly, earlier in the stream I said around 5. Let's hope that number stays below it or doesn't even happen at all. But we'll just wait and see. I mean, this is again, if it was out west, I wouldn't be making a big deal about it. But since it's in a major metropolitan area, this is something that we really, really got to watch. For now, the storm looks to be still west of I-39, the worst of it. But if this atmosphere decides to recover, if it decides to become more unstable, which if it does, we're going to have major problems. If it becomes more unstable, we are going to have several tornadoes today. Not saying they're going to even happen. Not going to be strong, because they're not, because the atmosphere is not that primed for strong tornadoes, strong long track tornadoes as well, which is good, unless they were out west and they cause no damage. But the fact that we have a 10% tornado risk from NATOcast, not the Storm Prediction Center, 10% tornado risk from NATOcast, centered right over the Chicagoland area, it's definitely something we got to watch. It's, like I said, centered Aurora, Bolingbrook, pretty much west of 355, east of 47, north of 80, and south of 88. That's basically where the biggest tornado potential is for the Chicagoland area today, just based on what NATOcast says. So obviously we'll keep watching this. We'll keep watching this the whole day. Obviously the storm right now, the worst of the storm right now looks to be west of I-39. It looks to be that this storm should arrive in the Chicagoland area somewhere close to 1 o'clock, and then 2 o'clock, all hell breaks loose. So we'll just say that. But again, if this atmosphere, which as of right now, it does seem like it may start to get some more unstableness in the atmosphere again. If it decides to do that, the tornado risk will be going higher and higher and higher, and that's not what we want. We want it to go down. Obviously, everybody that knows me, they know I love tornadoes, but especially if it's in an area where I'm familiar with, I do not want tornadoes. If they were out west and south, I would be fine with it. But since it's in an area where where there's a lot of people I know, and it's a major metropolitan area, that's probably the worst thing to happen. So we're ready. I mean, if you keep this on back of your mind, if you keep this thought in your head the entire day, you should be fine. Just keep phone alerts on. Just get away to have severe weather warnings today, because you're going to need it. Again, if a tornado warning does go off, again, tornado precautions, it's a good thing we're talking about this now, because we have no tornado warnings, no severe thunderstorm warnings. It's the perfect time to talk about what to do if there is a tornado in the Chicagoland area today. If you want to go back into this part, 33 minutes into the live stream, we'll talk about what the severe weather or tornado precautions, what you could do. And it's perfect time, like I said. So if your tornado warning does become issued for your area, the best thing to do is get below ground. If you don't have a below ground, you want to get into the most center part of your house away from any outside walls. And again, if there's children that are watching this, thank you. If there's children that are watching this without their parents, again, if you have a basement, go to it. If you don't have a basement, find the most center part of your house away from any outside walls, or windows for that matter, because they can easily blow in, or debris could fly through them, and that could be deadly without even knowing it. So I prefer underground, because obviously tornadoes, they can morph underground, but it's safer to be underground. If you have like a bathroom in your basement, go in there, get in the bathtub, get a lot of pillows, a lot of blankets, even get a football helmet if you have one, or just grab as many things as you can that can protect you from flying debris. Because again, flying debris is the number one cause of tornado deaths with tornadoes. But once again, if you have anything that that could protect you, do it. If you even have a mattress down there, if you even want to haul it down there, if you have a lot of time, you can. If there even is a mattress in your basement, if you want to use that, perfectly fine. Any way to stay safe ahead of these thunderstorms and even possible tornadoes. Honestly, this is biggest tornado potential I've seen in Chicagoland area. Honestly, actually since April 5th, since we had the tornado warning 30 miles to my west. Luckily, nothing came out of that. Let's hope nothing comes out of this either. Just based on what we've seen so far, it looks like we may have at least a few tornadoes today in the Chicagoland area. So you just got to be ready. You just got to stay weather aware today. I always say that every stream, stay weather aware, stay weather aware, stay weather aware, because it is important that you do stay weather aware in the Chicagoland area today. Let's just see here. What was I going to say now? What was I going to say? So like I said, biggest tornado potential east of 47. Okay. So like I said before, the biggest tornado potential looks to be east of 47, south of 88, west of 355, north of I-80. So if you know that area, just draw a box. That's pretty much where the biggest tornado potential is for today. Like I said, if you or somebody know, you might want to tell them to join the stream. Keep talking about all the tornado precautions, all that today. What was I gonna say? This is one of again, like I said, this is gonna be a first true test of whether or not this will work, and let's hope it does. Let's just hope we don't see any tornadoes today. But the atmosphere is becoming more and more unstable. Actually, it's becoming more stable due to those storms that you see on your screen right now toward Joliet. That area, that's where the NATOcast has the worst or the highest potential of tornadoes today. That's where they have it. But honestly, up north, up north and even south of these lines, if the atmosphere becomes more and more unstable, tornado risk will start to become higher and higher within those areas. Honestly, up north of the 2% line, I shouldn't be worried about it. Like Elburn and all that up north, you should be okay. But it's pretty much everywhere south of the line, Mendota, Ottawa, Northville, Morris, and all that. That's where the biggest concern that we have is. Okay, what was I going to say? So yeah, I have several people I know that are out there chasing today. I kind of wish I was one of them, but this is probably, this is to make up for for not being able to chase back on, or not being able to do this live stream stuff on March 31st. So this honestly makes up for that. So you're welcome. Like I said, Davenport keeps issuing these special weather statements for the line south of pretty much 74 down into south of 80 going into Peoria and all that, Bloomington. So the special weather statements keep going there, but again, the atmosphere is more unstable toward Chicagoland area, so these storms should start to strengthen as they move to the east, which is not a good sign. In a few minutes here, we will be taking a break. We'll come back and continue talking about this. But like I've said before, tornado risk, NATOcast has a 10% tornado risk centered in Aurora, south of that, Bolingbrook, Joliet. We'll also say Manuka, parts of Shanahan, Plainfield, Oswego, Yorkville. So pretty much in that area, that's where the biggest tornado potential for the Chicagoland area is today, even though the Storm Prediction Center, I'll zoom out here, even the Storm Prediction Center has the 2% tornado risk out here, NATOcast has tornadoes happening up into there. It's honestly hard. Again, one of the weird events to forecast, honestly. But if I don't know. Who knows? I may even take a surprise, and I'll surprise all you, and I'll go out and storm chase today. But with these storms, the good thing, there's not a lot of hail, which is probably hail is the biggest turnover for me for storm chasing. But there's only 5% chance of hail, which is a good thing. But these storms are going to be high precipitation, which means if they're tornadoes, they're possibly going to be rain wrapped. They're going to be fast movers because the storm is racing pretty fast to the east. Looking out west right now. Now let me do what the last live stream did. We'll do a live shot out of the backyard, looking out my window. All right, I should do it on my phone here. Hang on. That's a bad idea. All right, so what was I gonna say? So yeah, looking off to the west right now, I do see a few dark clouds off to the west, which coincides with that storm that you see on your screen right now. Again, moving toward the Chicagoland area. I'm not sure exactly of how fast it's moving. I believe about maybe 35, 40 miles an hour, which again, not slow. It's not fast either. So you'll be seeing a lot of heavy rain. We've already had a lot of rain. We've already had a lot of rain within the Chicagoland area in the past few days after coming from a really bad drought. But we're just having more rain than we need. Okay, this is the live shot that we have here. Just looking off to the west. Okay. Since this phone hates me, there's your live shot. I can't. If we use the iPad, actually, we're gonna switch it. We're gonna use the iPad for this because I don't like how it looks like that. But let's go back here for a second. I'll put that down. Oh boy. Stay, buddy. Okay. There's the live shot. This is outside my house right now. We're going to stick with this shot for a while because the storm, it's getting closer to I-39 as I speak right now. You're looking to the west and the camera's all messed up. Hang on. Okay, so you're looking off to the west right now. You can see those dark clouds over those houses. That is where the storm is. And as this thing continues to move off to the east, those clouds are going to become much, much darker, obviously, because the storm is getting closer. But for the time being, we still don't have as big of a deal to worry about compared to later on today. But like I said, this tornado risk is becoming more and more certain just based on what we've seen so far. So obviously we'll stick with this live shot for a while. These clouds, these are what I'm talking about, the ones over those houses right there, that is where the biggest, that's where probably the heaviest rain is. Honestly, it looks like to me it's a shelf cloud from here, but we'll just see if that actually happens as this storm does get closer. Like I said, continuing special weather statements stretching for pretty much near Mendota, all the way down toward Havana, Illinois, Canton, Illinois, and all that Lewistown. You get the EF3 back in April that we will not talk about. There's a certain someone that likes to remind me of that, and that certain someone is my storm chasing friend. And bye-bye, bird. Anyways, for some reason, Chicago is picking up rotation over Rockford. I'll switch over to that. Let's take a look at what Rockford has. That's what I was talking about right there. Just based on what this looks like, it has possible rotation with it. I'm not sure why. Let's take a look at velocity. Nothing. Okay, so this is just a scare tactic that we see here. Okay, thank you. Yeah, that's not really rotation because there's no green in there, so it's definitely not rotation. So nothing to worry about with that, thankfully. But let's take a wider look at the storm again. All the dots you see, they're storm spotters, and this radar is not the best because it's using my phone screen, and it wants to focus on a small part of it. Let's move this back. Try to get as much radar as we can. Again, all those dots are storm chasers right now. Let's move this to the east here. So yeah, that's pretty much the worst of the storm that we have right now, near Kewanee and going up north into Dixon and south of Galesburg. So out of Chicago radar, that looks to be the worst of the rain right there. So that's probably. Let's take a look at what we have near north of Kewanee, near Anawan. Is that possible rotation? Nah. Reflectivity was starting to show a little bit of a hook, but it's not. If we just take a look, let's just look around. The biggest potential for tornadoes again is near Hopel, Kewanee, and as of right now, it's pretty much within this area. But it's always good to look at it and make sure it is what it is, and it's not. You're not doing the fear mongering crap that a lot of other meteorologists do, but I will not do that. So you know what? We'll switch back to the iPad screen here. We'll we'll do the live shot stuff later. Because obviously the storm's a little bit too far to the west right now to see much. So we'll just stick with the we'll stick with the radars for a while here. Again, special weather statement's pretty much going as far east as Mendota, Peru, La Salle, Peru right now, and the leading edge of the storm is basically right through here. So yeah, for the time being, the severe threat is still to our west. It does not seem like we will have. This seems like this will be the severe threat, just so you know. So just get ready for this. Oops, wrong thing I needed. Go back. All right, I'm trying to pull up Mesoscale analysis again so I can read off what this says. The Storm Prediction Center should be coming out with their 1630 outlook in just a couple minutes here, so we'll just wait to see what they get with that. Obviously, the storm, about 50 miles to the west. Surface-based cape, there is still none, but the wind shear is there, so there's still spinning in the atmosphere off to the east that is possible. 100 layer, yeah, there's about 200 cape over Chicagoland, but as you get higher and higher in the atmosphere, most unstable cape is about 1,000. I always go surface-based cape because it's honestly the most notable. But so yeah, the wind shear, there's about I'm just reading off. It's about 30 wind shear in the atmosphere right now. So it's good for tornadoes and the potential for supercells, or the potential of mesoscale or mesocyclones within the Chicagoland area is pretty good. Even with some of the storms that you see off to the east right now as well. Okay, let's take. I'm gonna do something here. Let me see. Okay. Yeah, but okay. So as a storm, let me figure this out again. As a storm does move off to the east, it's spinning like a what do you call it? Extratropical cyclone right now. That's what it's forecast to do. So in the 6 hours, which is about 5-6 o'clock, that's when the next round. Honestly, it's the next round of severe thunderstorms that are supposed to roll through. But the leading edge of the storm, which is what we have right now, that is the biggest concern for tornadoes because the Cape right now, within 2 hours, as the storm moves in, it's going to approach 1,500 joules per kilogram. And with the wind shear, let me do wind shear here. With the wind shear, if we do 2 hours again, the wind shear does start to increase over the Chicagoland area. So there again, good chance for tornadoes today. So again, do not take this event lightly. So okay, for some reason, some people are now starting to say people are going to. There could be a potential strong tornadoes, but I'm trying to clarify if they mean Chicago or not. But this is honestly the first big test of severe weather chance or even tornado chance in the Chicagoland area. All right, so we will take a break here. We'll come back probably closer to noon. And yes, that person that did say a few strong tornadoes means in Illinois today. So we'll just see that. But that's honestly what they think. So who knows if it even happens? We'll just hope it doesn't. Again, a few more special weather statements issued there. So we'll come back. We'll come back around noon, something like that. I'll keep the radar going and just stay weather aware, stay safe, and we'll see you in a little bit. All right, so we're back here. I'll just do this real quick and then we'll actually end the stream because I've completely forecasted this wrong. This is the first round of severe weather. And like I said earlier, this thing is going to wrap itself around. And then that's when the biggest potential for tornadoes and damaging wind is for this afternoon. So we'll come back and live stream around 3 o'clock, maybe 3:34, something like that. But keep in mind that this is the first round of severe weather. We're going to have a second round later today with potential of strong tornadoes in the Chicagoland area. So stay weather aware. With that, goodbye.